So Facebook wants to get into cryptocurrency. There have been hearings on Capitol Hill about this. Not everybody is a big fan of that idea. And to bring in our guest to talk more about that, we have Gabe Higgins. He is the COO and Managing Director of Block Spaces. Yes. Good to have you with us, Gabe.
Thank you for having me.
So what is Block Spaces and how does it pertain to cryptocurrency?
Yeah, so we're a blockchain innovation studio. So we help educate companies and startups and anybody who wants to learn more about this technology. Or cryptocurrency is, of course, a big aspect of this. And help them understand it and leverage it to help benefit them, whether it's for their personal finances or their company management processes.
All right, we're going to talk about Facebook in just a second, but first to give some folks some background here on cryptocurrency. It's been around for about a decade now. Yep. Bitcoin is the big player.
Still the big one, yep.
Why do people use cryptocurrency? What's the main motivator here for it?
Yeah, I think a big motivation is that it's a trustless system. So now with Bitcoin, we have a monetary unit that's not controlled by any centralized entity. So a lot of people, of course, here in the U.S., we have a very stable currency, but that's not like that all over the world. So you can use Bitcoin anywhere around the world. You just need an internet connection. So a lot of people in desperate countries are using it to just secure their wealth.
And we talked about that happening about in Venezuela.
Venezuela and Argentina and a lot of other countries, even countries like China, where there's heavy, strict capital controls. People can use Bitcoin to kind of get around those.
So it's internet currency essentially, is it right to call it that? And for people, I know the primary motivator here is investing, but what about use of? Do people just want to use it here? And if so, is it because it's not traceable, or is it traceable? I mean, is there a degree of secrecy to it as well? Or?
There is a slight degree of secrecy, but it is very traceable if that secrecy is compromised. So if you are purchasing things, like illicit things on the internet, and our criminal forces that use it, our police forces are able to track those transactions if they figure out that you've been using Bitcoin for illicit activity. And they've been successful doing so and finding the criminals doing that, because the way Bitcoin works is all the transactions are public.
Okay, so it's certainly not invisible then.
It's not invisible, and those transactions last forever. So at any point in the future, if you do something bad, they can trace back to where it happened, and you'll be found out.
Okay, so let's bring Facebook into the conversation here. They've been having hearings on Capitol Hill about Facebook wanting to get into cryptocurrency. They would call it Libra. Yep. What's your take on this? Do you support that idea?
So I find it very interesting because now, of course, it's stirring on a lot of conversations like this. Of course, Bitcoin has been casted as this like shadow, dark web kind of thing, and it's really not. It's mainly used for investment and speculation purposes, by and large. And but this Libra conversation has really elevated the topic to be more about, well, what's the difference now? What's the difference between Bitcoin and this Libra thing that they're calling a cryptocurrency? But it's a little bit unknown right now, because it's not out yet. They haven't launched it. They just announced that they're going to launch it. And a few details on how they're going to do that. But it remains to be seen, and I think it's actually a good thing for the industry that I'm in, the cryptocurrency blockchain industry, because we can help educate people on what it is, what the difference is, and then you can determine whether or not it'll be useful for you.
Okay. I think, though, is it fair to say from what you've seen of those hearings, they're a little bit frosty toward...
very
maybe
a lot of people
more than a little bit, right?
Yeah, a lot of people are sour on Facebook in general because of the privacy concerns, of course. So those are very warranted concerns, I believe, I feel. And I think people should be concerned with how they implement this new currency that they're trying to manage. So there's a lot of questions about how they're going to do it, and they said Marcus Davis, who was on the he's on the stand, he's the CEO of Libra. He is trying to alleviate those concerns with the regulators and lawmakers around the world, not just in the U.S.
And one of the ways that he is doing that is saying, and help me understand what this means exactly, there'd be basically a third party in Switzerland that's not a bank, it's like a nonprofit that would basically manage it?
Yeah, so they set up a foundation that's going to basically kind of run and control this new network with this new currency. And Facebook is only going to have a small say in that overall foundation. So they're trying to kind of, as we say, decentralize this network as much as they can, but it's still a closed network. It's still a group of very powerful corporations, and it costs. Facebook is charging to be a part of this network $10 million per head or per company. So you have to be, of course, very well established as a company, but they have some big players on board already. So right now they have 28 members. They're aiming for 100 when they launch.
Now I know the bottom line answer to what I'm about to ask is to make money, but what is the motivator for Facebook to get into this?
Yep.
Is it money? Is it power? What is the ultimate end goal here, do you think?
Yeah, short answer, yes.
As I knew, but
right. But I think that, so from what their white paper and what they released and what they keep saying is that they're trying to enable a payment infrastructure for people that don't have access to modern day financial instruments. So here, again, in the U.S., we're very fortunate. We have a very sophisticated monetary system and financial system and infrastructure, but in a lot of places around the world, that's not the case. So they say they're trying to enable a new way to bank the unbanked with nothing more than your mobile device and an internet connection.
I don't know why there's something inherently scary about it, but there just seems to be. I don't know if it's just that much centralized power somewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm getting too often left field here, but somebody that big like Facebook, could it undermine the values of currencies around the world?
So that's what the regulators are concerned with. That's why they immediately called for these congressional hearings. They are asking the same questions. They're concerned about that, and they want to press Facebook for answers. And Facebook has been pretty open that they're willing to adopt any kind of regulations that the legislators are trying to put forth. They want to abide by any kind of laws. Again, David Marcus said he's not trying to compete with the current financial system. He's trying to just be an add-on addition to it and provide services that the current financial system isn't servicing right now. So, but there are a lot of concerns about how they're going to do this. So, again, we'll see.
We'll wait and see because it is playing out right now, and Facebook wants to get into the business. So, Gabe Higgins, we appreciate your insight and helping us understand it all.
Yes, thank you.